Hao. Hello, tea friends. I'm Jesse, your tea guy, and I'm starting this new series called Epic Tea Times. Whenever I get something really special or interesting or epic, I'm gonna do a little bit more of an in-depth review here for longer channels because a lot of people watch short videos and they're wondering if there's anything longer coming, and I honestly haven't tried it. So 2023, starting a new thing. This episode, I have something very, very special. This was sent to me by my friend Yunqing, who does all of our pu'er teas, including the music of Mengsong pu'er and also our pu'er tea oranges. This is a guy that I've known since 2010, so that's coming on 13 years now. And this is none other than wild white tea, old white tea. How old? 30 years old. This tea, he told me, would retail for 10,000 renminbi. It's a real treat to be given this box of the white tea in basically as a thank you from him from buying all this tea over the years. So I got to thank you guys as well, because if you guys didn't buy the tea, then I wouldn't be able to buy enough tea to get such a nice gift. So I figured this is at least what I can do, is share with you guys the process of tasting it. The whole core of Gongfu tea is enjoying the experience of the entirety of the tea thing. So let's start with the packaging. So this here says 荒野老白茶. So 荒野means wild, although it means really wild. 野生 would be wild. 荒野 is like wilderness, so it's like even more wild. 老 means old. 白茶 means white tea. And then this is really what I'm excited about. 30年陈, 30 years aged. When I first saw that 30 years aged, I really thought I was doing a little bit of a dyslexia moment, because 13年, 13 years aged, is very old for white tea, but you can find it. 30年, 30 years aged white tea is very rare, very difficult to find. White tea kind of got more popular during the last 10 or 15 years. And so as a result, finding a 10-year, a 15-year white tea is expensive, but not impossible. 30-year white tea means it had to come kind of before the new kind of boom in the market. And while it does exist, it is difficult to find. So I totally understand the question, how do you know when you're getting a 30-year white tea that it's real? This is a big question where it's always best to know the tea farmer directly. If you can know the tea farmer directly and they tell you, yes, I remember putting it down, here's all my storage, here's how I do it, that's even the best way to do it. But if you can't do that, because most people can't, the next step, and the reason why I really know this one is the real deal, is because, one, I know the guy who's giving it to me, so I can ask him. And I did ask him on WeChat. I asked, 这是真白茶吗？这真的是30年？我看一下我写的是什么？好喝，真的是30年吗？他说是的。And then that's when he hit me with the 市场零售1万多块一斤. So that means that they're asking for 10,000 renminbi or $1,400 on the market every jin, which is 500 grams. So it's getting up there. But so how do we still know it's real? Well, there's a couple things that I look for. One is obviously the tea taste, the tea quality. It helps if you've drunk some old white tea before. I've had a bunch of old white tea, 5-year, 10-year, 15-year. So to be able to try a 30-year, I kind of have an idea of what it might taste like if it's real. And then the other thing I'm going to show you right here, it's this thing right here. This logo says Yunqing 制造, made by Yunqing. This is made by my friend. He put his stamp on it. I buy a bunch of tea from him. A lot of people buy tea from him. If he goes putting his stamp on stuff, it's saying it's 30 years aged and it's not aged, that's a good way to lose all your customers as a tea guy. So if I get this with his stamp on it and I confirmed with him on WeChat it's real, that's as close as I'm going to get without knowing the tea farmers. And either way, I'm looking forward to the experience. All right, opening the box. We're gonna switch to the Jesse cam. Let's take a look in here. Wow, look at those leaves, baby. Wow. Wild tea trees get enormous. When you think of a tea plant, you usually think of these bushes, and those are made for the ease of agriculture. So people that are planting tea trees for the purpose of making tea from them, they do that because that way they don't literally need to get up in ladders and climb the trees. Wild tea trees are not like that. Wild tea trees may be hundreds of years old and they get big, the leaves get big, they get tall, they're difficult to manage. So already this is very exciting. All right. Very cool. The leaves are very, very dry and brittle, like old paper, which I guess makes sense because, they're 30 years old. Got some nice white hairs on the tea. White tea actually gets its names from those white hairs on the leaf.
Very pretty.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah. It's great. It smells like a medicine shop. It's great.
Wow, look at that. Bam. Wow, that is a really, really nice color.
It's hard to show exactly just how clear this is.
I mean, look at how clear that is. That sort of clarity is fantastic. I have a friend who runs a white tea shop in Beijing, and he has this habit of putting the white tea leaves in a pot over a fire, and he'll boil it for hours and hours and hours to get it really, really concentrated. That really, really concentrated white tea flavor is what that smells like as it's opening. So again, that's the sort of like surprise I would expect from a 30-year white tea. Normally I would pour this whole first steep out on my tea pets, but because this is a very valuable tea and it's an experience, I've never tried 30-year-old white tea before, so I don't know what the wash tastes like. I'm gonna give them just a little bit and then I'm gonna drink the wash. The truth is that as your tea gets higher and higher quality, the need to do the wash kind of lessens. While the first steep is usually not the best in flavor, it also is not going to hurt you. And as the tea gets better and better, I feel like it's more and more interesting to drink the wash, even if it's not the best, just so you have a little bit of a comparison to what's going on later. Now the taste.
Oh yes. Yeah, that's really good.
I'm absolutely loving this first taste. So it has this very intense herbal Chinese medicinal flavor. The old white teas on this first steep already has more of that herbal sort of floral, deep taste to it that we get in some of the later steeps of my, say, 7 or 8 year age white teas that I have on the site. The intensity is already there, even though the tea is still very light. And this is, I think, because it's the wash, the tea is normally not very heavy, it's not fully opened. Even without being fully opened, those flavors are very much there.
Already actually here, you see how dark these leaves are. They're really dark after one steep.
Sometimes people are asking, oh, you're not counting the seconds for your steeping. When you're drinking a tea for the first time, you don't necessarily know those numbers. A lot of those numbers that I give to you guys are through drinking the teas several times. But beyond that, I've just had a lot of experience drinking tea and making, especially for myself and knowing my own taste. And I adjust as it goes on. If I drink the second steep, it's not as flavorful as I want, I'll give the third steep some more time. Oh wow, it's getting even darker.
Beautiful color.
Let's have the second steep.
Oh yeah.
I am loving the second steep. It's darker, it's richer. It really did open up. I mean, that first steep, as good as it was, it's really clear, having drunk the second steep now, that that was still a wash. That flavor was not there yet, and it's really starting to open up. The fragrance is so intense that I'm actually kind of getting it going up into my nose as I'm taking the sip. So it's almost like as the tea is hitting my mouth, I'm getting that fragrance up through my sinuses, which, thanks to 2 sinus surgeries, one in China and one in America, are finally clear. I don't have time on this channel to go into my sinus problems, but if anybody wants a channel that is specifically about my sinus problems, tell me in the comments. I'm gonna take this opportunity to show you guys the leaves on the Jesse Cam.
So as the leaves are opening up, you can see that they're really dark. Because they were so loose to begin with, we really aren't seeing much growth in volume, but the leaves are clearly getting darker and opening. It's funny, it looks like leather, and now that they're wet, I'm not so worried about breaking them. you can see the pattern of the very fine white hairs on the leaf.
I'm gonna do this steep in silence so we can just enjoy it. So for Chinese white tea, they have a saying, 一年好, 三年药, 七年保. What that means is 1 year it's good, 3 years it's medicine, 7 years it's a treasure, 30年我操. Dirty joke. 别播了，别播了啊，这个不过审啊。So we're only 3 steeps in, and knowing the old white tea, I think I'll probably be able to do this one for like 10. But it's been fantastic being able to hang out with you. Let me know if you like this format. This year in 2023, I'm hoping to do more longer stuff. So if you have ideas on what sort of longer stuff you'd like to see, do let me know. Just generally, I just want to say thank you again. It's 2023. I have all these exciting plans for this coming year, and all of it is possible because you guys watch the channel, and it's also possible because you guys get the tea. So this particular tea is maybe a little beyond the price range of what I think I can put onto the shop, but I have lots of different stuff, and they really vary in price, anything from like $1 or $1.50 a session to $4-ish a session. It really has been a focus of mine to get really good tea at prices that are affordable. And again, if you think about the prices of everything nowadays, an egg is like $13. So treating yourself to having a half an hour or an hour and a half, depending on the teas, being able to hang out with a friend, sitting down and talking with your friends, with your family, it really is something that can't be expressed by money and can't be expressed by words. You really have to get into it. So I'm very happy to have brought some of that to you guys, and I encourage you to check out the site if you ever want to get some tea. I'm there for you. Always comment in the comment section as well if you have anything that you want to ask about. Thank you for journeying with me as we tried out this 30-year white tea. Can't wait to be with you more in the future. Cheers. 多喝茶.